Welcome to the NoDQ.com live recap of Friday Night Smackdown as well as AEW Rampage for Friday, November 12th. We are on the eve of Full Gear, but first, let's talk about Smackdown. Shout out to the chat room. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you to everybody watching this, whether it's live or on demand. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like on YouTube and spread the word. Tell a friend about the channel and the video. That would be very much appreciated. And by the way, shout out to the guy that had the Mr. Tito no DQ sign at the Rampage event in Minneapolis. Mr. Tito was very happy about that. Pretty cool to see a sign for him there on television. We kicked off Smackdown with Sonya Deville in the ring introducing the Women's Survivor Series team members. Sasha Banks, the captain, arrived, and she went right after Shotzi. We had a huge brawl. Naomi came down to the ring, got in Sonya's face, and she started fighting with Shayna Baszler. We had a commercial break, and when we came back, you guessed it, they turned it into a tag team match. Can the Women's Survivor Series team coexist? That's the big question here. And I guess they had to settle their issues with a tag team match. Anyways, Naomi took a lot of punishment in this match. She got suplexed from the apron to the floor, and then she was thrown into the barricade by Shayna Baszler. Shayna went after Naomi's elbow. Eventually, Aaliyah got the hot tag. Aaliyah in her first big match on the main roster. And she went back and forth with Natalya. Things started to break down. Natalya managed to get the sharpshooter on, and she tried to grab the ropes for leverage, but Naomi stopped Natalya, and Aaliyah countered the sharpshooter into a pinfall. I really liked this finish. Aaliyah scored the pinfall victory over Natalya, winning for her team. Even though they did one of the types of segments I do not like, where you have a promo turned into a tag team match, I did enjoy this, and I did like the finish of it. Backstage, we had Sami Zayn, who was announced for the Men's Survivor Series elimination match. He was practicing his speech about unity. And as it turns out, Jeff Hardy was there the whole time. Sami wanted some feedback. Hardy said, well, that promo sucked. That little speech, it was not good as far as Hardy was concerned. Not sure if Jeff Hardy is the one to be critiquing promos or people's speaking abilities, but there you go. We had Sonya Deville backstage letting Aaliyah know that Aaliyah was off the SmackDown women's team for Survivor Series. I guess now Sonya has a problem with Aaliyah, or maybe she's going to add Naomi. I'm not sure what's going on here. Pretty strange. And then we had Paul Heyman backstage with Roman Reigns. Caleb Braxton was there, and Reigns went into his locker room. Paul Heyman had an announcement to make regarding Roman Reigns versus King Woods in the main event. Heyman said if Reigns could not beat Xavier Woods, he would take a knee. He would bend the knee, and if he didn't do it, he would be stripped of the title and banished from SmackDown. We had a quick backstage clip of King Corbin, Baron Corbin, Happy Corbin, whatever the hell he's called. Him and Madcap Moss. Moss was there making another Viking Raider joke. Thankfully, this was only like 15 seconds long because they have been one of the worst aspects of SmackDown over the past several weeks. We had Shinsuke Nakamura, the Intercontinental Champion, and Rick Boogs against Los Lotharios, Angel, no longer a Garza, and Humberto, no longer Carrillo. You had Boogs showing off his power, looking really cool, and he was doing all of his taunts and everything. But eventually, Los Lotharios got the upper hand on Boogs. Shin eventually got the hot tag, but then Boogs was sent into the ring post, and you had Angel and Humberto working together. They double teamed Shin, and they scored the pinfall victory over the Intercontinental Champion. Now, I really like Rick Boogs, but I think the wrong guy took the fall here. Like, you're building up a tag team and you're having them pin the Intercontinental Champion. Doesn't really make sense. Like, first of all, the champion shouldn't be losing, really. And second, if the champion is going to lose, have him lose to somebody who could challenge him for the title instead of having a tag team basically beat him. It just was strange. I think Boogs could have taken the fall here, and I'm a big Boogs fan. We had Adam Pearce backstage with Von Wagner. Yes, Von Wagner from NXT. No reason given why he was there. He was just standing there. I'm not even sure if the announcers acknowledged him. He was just standing there with Adam Pearce, totally random. Sami Zayn walked in and said Jeff Hardy disrespected him. Adam Pearce made a match, Jeff Hardy versus Sami Zayn, and the loser would be removed from the men's Survivor Series team on Smackdown. Walter Cruz with a $2 super chat says, shame that the Intercontinental belt means nothing. I'm with you on that, and Nakamura has been an entertaining champion too. Have they even announced Damian Priest versus Nakamura, IC champion versus US champion? They've done it other years. I'm not even sure if they're doing that for Survivor Series. And the thing is, if they do, it'll probably be a kickoff match. Dr. NXT Scorpio says, I think WWE forgot Shinsuke is even the Intercontinental Champion. Yeah, you may be right on that one. We had Charlotte come down to the ring for a promo. Charlotte, of course, the Smackdown Women's Champion now. She started talking about all of Becky Lynch's nicknames, but wants to know, who the hell is Becky Lynch? And Charlotte said there's nothing natural about Becky Lynch, including her catchphrases, her orange hair. She's the most fabricated champion ever. By the way, Becky Lynch was quick to respond to this on Twitter and basically laughed at the idea of Charlotte saying that somebody has no natural qualities to them. Dr. NXT Scorpio said, LOL, that's coming from Charlotte. And regarding Damian Priest being missing, Damian Priest was on the UK tour, so that's why he wasn't on Raw. I just don't know why they're not announcing an IC champion versus US champion match. Seems to go with the theme of Survivor Series, but whatever. Anyways, Charlotte kept going, and she started using the term uh-oh. And she had the crowd saying uh-oh for every line that she was saying about Becky Lynch. And the crowd was actually saying it with her. And I was wondering, did they pipe this in or record something in advance? It felt really weird that the crowd was so into this, but they were doing the uh-oh with Charlotte Flair. And I have a feeling this is going to be a new t-shirt. It's going to be up on WWE Shop within the next 24 hours. Watch. Then Charlotte also called herself the Star Maker. I guess she has another new catchphrase now. She's the Star Maker, and she's going to use the uh-oh phrase all the time now. Tony Storm interrupted. There was a comment in the chat room about Tony Storm, and she said that, hey, Becky Lynch has been defending the Raw title. How about a match for the Smackdown title? And Charlotte was just pondering this question, this challenge. The fans were doing the yes chants, and then Charlotte said, absolutely not. And she stormed off. So I guess she really wasn't pondering it. She was not doing it. She was having none of it. Moving on here, we had a promo from Xavier Woods, and he talked about it being a rough week for the New Day and said that Roman Reigns will bend the knee. We had Ali backstage with Aaliyah, telling her it's a shame what the company is doing to her, taking her out of the Survivor Series match. Ricochet then showed up, telling Aaliyah to not believe a word that Ali says, and told her to keep her head up high and keep moving forward, and she walked off with him. I feel like this was just the two of them trying to hit on Aaliyah and try to get a date with her. I mean, that's what this whole thing came off like. It was pretty funny. We had Jeff Hardy versus Sami Zayn, and this was a sign that this was not a piped-in crowd, because you could actually see the people going crazy for Jeff Hardy. Norfolk, Virginia, they absolutely love Jeff Hardy. They were cheering him like it was 2009. And Hardy went for his move where he jumps off the steel steps and crashes into the guy, sends him into the barricade, but he missed that. He crashed into the barricade, and Zayn got the upper hand for a while. Hardy made a comeback, got a few near falls on Zayn. Zayn then regained control, and Zayn tried to cheat, put his feet on the ropes. The referee saw it, though, and Hardy capitalized, got the twist of fate on, hit the swanton, and picked up the victory. And this was a pretty funny moment because he had the graphic put up on the big screen, and Sammy's picture got deleted. It faded to black, and Sami Zayn freaked out. This was pretty entertaining stuff. Match was good. Crowd, like I said, really into Jeff Hardy. And then you had Pat McAfee sitting there with his pencil, throwing it and catching it just like Mr. Perfect did back in the day. That was pretty cool, too. There were some fun moments on this show. This was a pretty fun SmackDown, in my opinion. You know, some of the booking was a bit illogical, but that's WWE for you. We had a promo from Hit Row, and they were talking about their shoes, talking about some other stuff. Then we had a really bizarre segment with Jinder Mahal and Veer, who Jinder was referring to as the real Slim Shanky. Actually, it wasn't Veer, it was Shanky. Veer's on Raw. Shanky, excuse me. My apologies. So they started doing some rapping, and then he went from the real Slim Shanky to Ice Shanky. And then Jinder started doing some rapping. And then they called Hit Row Cringe Row. This was strange. That's all I'm going to say about it. I really don't know what else to say about it. It was something else. Darren says it was a cringe segment. And Dr. NXT Scorpio says, uh-oh. Yeah. MVP Kev says, Great Khali 2.0. I guess them doing the comedy stuff. We had another Xia Li video package. And we also had an interview with Ridge Holland. Once again, talking about how Sheamus is his idol. Never knew he could make good money by hurting people, but then Sheamus showed him the way. Cesaro then interrupted, so I like how Cesaro's in this storyline with Sheamus. Cesaro warned Ridge to be careful about Sheamus because, Cesaro knows Sheamus quite well. And Ridge said he's going to be taking Cesaro's place. He's going to be teaming up with Sheamus, and he will be better than the Bar ever was. And then Ridge said that Sheamus will be on SmackDown next week. Interesting. I was definitely intrigued by this segment. And then we had our main event of SmackDown, Roman Reigns versus King Woods. Woods was using his speed, but then Reigns got the upper hand. He gave Woods a Uranagi on the SmackDown announce table, but no matter what he did, Reigns could not put away Xavier, and he got sidestepped. He was sent into the ring post. Woods went up to the top and hit his big flying elbow and was on the verge of pinning the Universal Champion, Roman Reigns. But then the Usos interfered. The Usos pulled out Xavier, causing a disqualification, which I believe was Roman Reigns' first official loss in 2021. The first time Roman Reigns technically lost a match this entire year. After the match was over, the Usos, they double teamed poor Xavier. Kofi Kingston was taken out by Roman Reigns last week. Still no Big E. So I guess they're taking the brand split seriously this time. At least so far, they haven't done the whole brand to brand initiative. The Usos used the steel steps on Xavier, and then Reigns, he did bend the knee. However, he bended the knee in order to be crowned the king of WWE. The Usos stole Xavier's crown and put it on the head of Roman Reigns. And I thought this was really entertaining. I thought it was great heel heat. And I know people were complaining about it, but I'm like, this is good heel heat. Roman Reigns stealing the crown, putting it on his head. Xavier had the match won, so Xavier looked really strong here. I liked it. I thought this was really good stuff, and overall, I was really entertained by SmackDown. I thought it was a very good show. It flew by very quickly. Not everything made sense, but I was entertained, and the crowd was really good. The Norfolk fans were into it, and they definitely helped as far as the atmosphere went during this show. The game is on 100 with a $2 super chat. Says, all hail our true king, the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. And Caleb Jacobs says, so obvious at Survivor Series, Big E gets his revenge. Well, I don't think Big E's going over at Survivor Series. I'll just say that. Letter grade wise, I'm probably going to go with a B+. I thought it was a really good show. Not sure if you guys agree with me on that one, but let's see in the chat room. 20% A, 45% B, so there you go. 25% C, and 9% D. MVP Kev, Matt Helms, B+, Michael Wayne, B+, Daniel, B-, CC Drink, A-, Dr. NXT Scorpio with a B-, and Joey Perez with a C+, Colin Andrew with a straight B. All right, let's switch it on over to Rampage and get some thoughts on that. We kicked off Rampage with Jungle Boy versus Bobby Fish, which was set up on Wednesday's Dynamite. And as I mentioned earlier, Mr. Tito got a sign. Thanks to the fan for bringing that sign, no DQ. I appreciate that. Jungle Boy and Bobby Fish, pretty good match here. They fought on the outside for a while. Bobby Fish got the upper hand, but then Jungle Boy made his comeback, put on the snare trap, and got the victory. But then we had the post-match shenanigans. Adam Cole ran down, and Bobby Fish, Adam Cole, double-teamed Jungle Boy. Cole and Fish hugged. We had the Undisputed Era reunion here on Rampage. And then Cole grabbed a couple of steel chairs. They were going to use the chairs for the concerto, but then Christian Cage and Luchasaurus ran down to make the save. Cole escaped. Bobby Fish was not so lucky. He got his ass kicked. He got taken out by the good guys to set up the six-man tag team match at the Full Gear pay-per-view. Caleb Jacobs says, Jungle Boy's awesome. Him for TNT champion. Well, Sammy's the champ right now, and I reckon a heel is going to get the title next, but we'll see. We had Adam Page backstage confronting the Young Bucks. He had to talk to them, and he had a stare down with Adam Cole. Man, Adam Cole actually makes Adam Page look like a tall human being. Anyways, I like Adam Cole a lot, so he's just short. So we had Adam Cole leave. Page talked to the Bucks, and he basically apologized for them not getting along in the past, but said they're even now. Page then said that if the Bucks lay a hand on him at the pay-per-view, he will ruin them. I feel like we're still going to get some kind of outside interference, but we'll see. Maybe not. We had Jade Cargill celebrating her 1-year anniversary in AEW. Her against former NXT star Santana Garrett. You had a cake there at ringside for the celebration, which when it's a wrestling show and there's a cake, you know that cake's not going to last too long. Red Velvet was there at ringside, and her and Jade Cargill started arguing. Jade grabbed Santana Garrett and threw her over the barricade onto Red Velvet, and you had people coming there trying to keep Red Velvet from climbing over the barricade, and Jade made very short work of Santana. After the match was over, Red Velvet grabbed the cake and smashed it into smart Mark Sterling's face. No surprise there. And there was a brawl between Red Velvet and Jade Cargill. Officials, people trying to break everything up. Steve-O's like, why can't they ever just enjoy the cake? Well, that would be the swerve. I mean, if there was ever a moment where the cake was not thrown in somebody's face, that would be a rarity in wrestling. And Colin Andrews says Jade is so bad, just so bad. Well, she really didn't have to do much here. It was like a 2-minute squash match. And that's probably what's the best for her right now. Just keep her in short matches. We had a CM Punk and Eddie Kingston video package hyping up Full Gear. And then we had 2 hometown boys going at it. We had Dante Martin versus Arya Daivari, former 205 Live superstar. Both of these guys from Minneapolis, and the crowd was obviously very much into this, chanting both these guys. You had Team Taz watching. This was a really fun match. Fun cruiserweight, high-flying match. Crowd was chanting, this is awesome, like a minute into it. Went back and forth. Daivari hit a frog splash. Dante kicked out of that. And then Dante made his comeback. He did a big springboard dive to the outside and then got Daivari back in the ring, hit a springboard moonsault, and picked up the win. Colin Andrews says Martin has so much potential, great talent. And then after the match was over, you had Team Taz offering a spot in the group to Dante Martin. Now, Leo Rush was not there. And the announcers were bringing that up, that his grandmother passed away. And Dante was there by himself. He was offered a contract to join Team Taz. And Dante was looking at the crowd for advice. They were doing the no. And Ricky Starks, told Dante to think it over. And that was the end of the segment. We'll see if Dante accepts. Leo Rush is not around, but when he comes back, what's going to happen with that? Interesting stuff here. Then we had our main event of the evening, and Steve-O says it was an interesting twist of Team Taz. Well, it gives them something to do at least. Seems like they really don't have much going on at the moment. And Gary Joe says, I don't know about anybody else, but this kid Martin is seriously killing it lately. Certainly a future shining star in the making. And Caleb Jacobs says, where's Brian Cage? Brian Cage is the new XPW World Champion. That's right, XPW recently resurfaced, and Brian Cage is the new champion. We had Matt Hardy versus Orange Cassidy in a lumberjack match to wrap up Rampage. We had the pre-match promos with Mark Henry. Matt Hardy offered a $20,000 bounty for anybody who could knock Cassidy's ass out. But before the bad guys could cash in on this, the good guys attacked the bad guys. We had fighting right from the get-go, and the best friends helped out Orange Cassidy. They hoisted him up over the top rope, and Cassidy did this dive onto the lumberjacks. The best friends got Hardy back into the ring, and then the lumberjacks started coming into the ring. Orange Cassidy hit the beach break to Hardy. He hit several orange punches on the bad guys. But then after Statlander took down the bunny, you had the Blade sneak into the ring. He hit Orange Cassidy with the brass knucks. And then Matt Hardy picked up the victory over Orange Cassidy. Match was quite crazy. It was fun. And overall, really fun show. I enjoyed it. I would probably give it a B+. Very, very good show overall. Flew by very quickly. Joey Perez says the same XPW where the owner cut off one of the wrestlers' thumbs for sleeping with a porn star. It is the same Rob Black, if that's who you're referring to there. But yeah, XPW's back, but we're not going to talk about that anymore. So yeah, that's all I got for tonight. I'll be back after Full Gear. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com. A lot of news up on the site right now. Check all that out. And I will be doing play-by-play results coverage on the site. And then after the pay-per-view, midnight, it's going to be late, midnight Eastern, I'll be back here to recap the Full Gear 2021 pay-per-view. Take care, everybody. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy Full Gear. And I will see you all next time.